following show contains adult content. It's not our intent to offend anyone, but we want to inform you that if you are a child under the age of 18 or get offended easily, this next show may not be for you. The content, opinions, and subject matter of these shows are solely the choice of your show hosts and their guests, and not those of the Entertainment Network or any affiliated stations. Any comments or inquiries should be directed to those show hosts. Thank you for listening.
What's up?
How's it going, Antman?
It is going. How is your Monday?
My Monday has gone so slow. I spent it driving. 8 hours of driving. Blah.
Man, so I heard back and they're going to be able to fix my board, but it's going to take 3 to 6 weeks due to the pandemic and due to the shipping and all the stuff being laid up. So I will not have a soundboard for 3 to 6 weeks. So, yeah, buddy.
We'll take it, though. As long as you're here with us, we're good. We're golden.
Man, yeah. So, got a little friend with us this evening.
We do, yes. Let me obtain my little friend here. He's in a little box because he's an escape artist. So, as you know, every beginning of the show, I do a little friend with standout serpents. And today, I've got a turtle.
Whoa, is he blue?
He is blue, actually. Yes, he's a terrapin, actually. So the terrapins, they're both land and water turtles. They usually do best in brackish water, which brackish water is a mixture of salt water and regular water. So, but he's got such a derpy little face. Check that out.
That's so cool. So do you have to at home, do you have to mix a certain 2 parts salt water, 3 parts regular water kind of thing?
Yes, correct. Definitely. Yep, he definitely has.
I'm learning.
he can survive solely on fresh water, but you add a little bit of salt in there. In the pet stores, you can just go buy a mixture and add this powder mixture to your water to create salt water. So it's really easy to create, and they're the most awesome turtles of all. They're so smart. They've learned when it's food time, they come right up to you, and you can hand feed them. They're so interesting, and they'll bask in their little bulb. So yeah,
They seem a lot happier than regular turtles.
Oh yeah,
a lot more inquisitive, curious about stuff.
Way more intelligent for sure. Droopy face. I love the droopy face. So check us out, standoutserpents.com or on Facebook, Instagram. Yeah, we've got all kinds of stuff. We were in Raleigh, North Carolina for the weekend for Repticons, so it was quite a busy weekend.
Oh, man. Never stops, huh?
Never stops. I couldn't even enjoy a Thanksgiving holiday because it was all about reptiles.
Hey,
Snakes and reptiles. What? So I have to make a huge announcement to all of our listeners today. My description is wrong for the show. I apologize for that. We have Arrow Rose on tonight, who is an incredible vocalist, incredible. And we're really happy to have her. And she's going to come on, and she's got such a brightness that she's going to just cheer you up, make your day.
Arrow is pretty awesome. I can already tell just hanging out with her before the show. So I'm really excited to dive in and get to know this girl and find out all about her world and what's going on.
Yep, absolutely. So let's bring her on. Here's Arrow.
Hi, guys.
What's up, Arrow? How are you?
I'm good. How are you? Well, thank you for having me on the show. I appreciate it.
Oh, no. Thank you for doing what you do as an artist. Definitely awesome to have you here tonight.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
So let's get right down to it. Fill us in a little bit on who you are and what you have going on.
Well, I just put out music about a couple of months ago in August. And yeah, I put out my first single, Damaged. And then for Halloween, I released a single called Tarrant. It's about Alice in Wonderland. Because I love Tim Burton and like I just love his movies and stuff. So I just kind of wanted to write a song about the movie, and it was pretty cool. It's a very interesting song, but yeah, so that's it so far.
Oh, that's fine. How long have you been doing music? Like as
uh
a whole, like has it been in your life throughout your life?
yeah, a long time. I've always played the piano. I write all my songs on the piano. I probably was in the recording studio for about a couple of years. And then when I was gonna release music, the pandemic happened. And I don't know, it just didn't feel like right releasing music at that time. Like, I don't know, just like the whole self-promotion thing with all that stuff going on, it just didn't like feel right. So I kind of took a break and put it on hold and waited until now to release the song. So I thought it was a good time to release Damaged because I mean, I think a lot of us are damaged.
Yeah, and the song is really beautiful. I was checking it out here right before the show, and
Yeah.
like I really love the way you lay it out there. Like you can feel. I feel like some artists these days, particularly, forget to add the emotion onto the music. Like they just, oh, it's catchy, cool. This will make me
Yeah.
some money, and bing, and just throw it out there, and there's really no soul to it anymore. So
Mm.
like with Damage, I feel like you really brought the soul back around.
Thank you. I definitely wanted the song to have a message instead of just like kind of like throwing up another pop song. Um, I just, I don't know. I really wanted it to get a message across and kind of have people relate to it because I mean, I think all of us are somewhat damaged to an extent. Like, no matter what it is in your life, everyone feels pain differently and goes through different things. But um, I'm just, happy to have people relate to it, and, get the message.
Do you feel like your piano skills and the way you've been taught and the way you've learned kind of help shape the way you started putting this music together at all?
Yeah, I definitely think so. I played piano for a really, really long time, pretty much like my whole life, but I didn't really start singing until I was like in high school, and then I got more serious about it after I graduated, but I really always loved playing the piano. So I definitely think the way I played piano kind of helped me create the songs that I started to create because all of them did start on the piano and then I add the words to it, but yeah, it kind of all stemmed from the piano and then became
Yeah,
more serious and stuff.
right on.
Yeah, so it's cool. It's fun. It's a fun job.
Do you have go ahead, Roxy. I saw you getting ready to ask a question.
Yeah, I wanted to veer off for just a quick second. With acting, are you in doing acting now?
Well, after I graduated high school, I did not want to go to college. So I always loved acting, but instead of going to college, I was like, you know what, I'm gonna go to acting school. So I went to Lee Strasberg. It's a method acting school in Manhattan. So I did that instead of going to college, and I did that for about 3 years. And then when I was about to get serious into acting, I got more serious into the music. So I kind of put the acting on hold. So I, got involved in the music, but I do want to act eventually. I would like to.
There's always room for both, right?
Yeah, I mean, it kind of goes hand in hand, the whole music industry and the acting business. It makes sense, I guess. So, um, I definitely want to act. Hopefully soon. Hopefully soon.
Yes.
Mhm.
So, being in the music industry, what has brought light to you for that you can kind of maybe give advice for other people, what situations have you incurred that have been really tough or a learning experience for you?
I would say just being you, I guess. Not trying to be something that you're not trying to make music that you think is going to sell, like just kind of be you and like make the music that you want to make, because when it becomes more like a job, it like takes the fun out of it. It just it makes it too serious, and then you kind of lose, I feel like, that authenticity of just doing what you want to do. So I think it's been hard kind of like sticking to the music that I want to make, because everyone obviously like has their opinions about, music and how it should be made. But I think the hardest part was just like making the music that I want to make and like staying true to that. So
Perseverance, right? Like you got to stick with it.
yeah, because you never know what's gonna take off or what people are gonna like. So I guess, just being you is important, and not like, trying to pretend to be someone or fake something or try to copy somebody or. So it's hard, I guess, sometimes.
Have you had a chance to? I know with the pandemic and everything, it's kind of really tightened it down for a lot of people. But have you put any thought into where in your area, any hot spots that you particularly want to play at that you haven't played yet?
Um, I actually performed for the very first time on 9/11 at a 9/11
Hello,
concert.
Johnny. Yeah.
Yeah, Soho Johnny. It was really cool because, well, it was kind of a tough day. My mom passed away on 9/11, so it was like a nice thing, to do, like a nice tribute, but like also, it was like a sad day, but it was also like a great day too. So, it was
Yeah.
cool. But I want to play. Um, I live like, well, I commute back and forth. I go back and forth from New York and New Jersey all the time, but I go to Atlantic City a lot here, and I was hoping like I could maybe play at like one of the casinos eventually sometime and try to do that. So I'm hoping to do that soon now that everything's like opening back up.
Right.
Yeah, so hopefully that'd be awesome.
So you have the two vids that are out right now,
Mhm.
and you are getting ready to throw some new stuff. I am almost positive you have something lined up. Um,
I do. Oh, it's a third single. It's a third
yeah.
single before.
So let me ask you, um, what is the writing process like for you, Aro, like these days? What is it like? Because I mean, you have to sound different, you have to stay relevant, you have
Mhm.
to find a way to
Yeah, you
stand
do.
out. So
Do.
how do you do that?
Um, I just guess, like I said, try to be as original as you can. I mean, that's hard, because I feel like everything has basically been done, so it's hard to like stay 100%
Yeah.
original. But a lot of the songs I wrote, I've had them done for years. Like Damaged and Tarrant, I had done years ago. I wrote them when I was like 18, 19 years old. Now I'm 22. So I've had all my songs probably for about like a few years now. So I was just getting like
Wow.
ready to release them. But this next one actually, it's like a collab. It's with a rapper. So I guess you could call it a hip hop song, but it's like a pop hip hop song. But I wrote it, but I had a rapper rap the verses, so it's cool.
Hey,
Is
you know
that the
what?
direction
Like,
you originally wanted to go with it?
Yeah, I one of my like biggest inspirations is Eminem. So
Nice.
I love Eminem. So I love when he does like collaborations with like Rihanna and like other people. It's so cool. So I kind of always got inspired to like have a song similar to that. So yeah, it's cool. We kind of go back and forth at each other. It's like a conversation, which I think people will like because it's not just me on it. It's like another person's on it. So it's cool. It's like a conversation type song. So
yeah.
I think it's gonna do well because it's not what I usually put out. So
You're reaching out to different listeners at that point. You're
yeah,
targeting
I'm
a different
opening up.
audience.
Right, exactly. I'm kind of trying to broaden my audience and break it up a little bit, because I don't want to release songs that sound completely the same. I think that's what I've also found with the music is that it's very easy to make your songs sound similar, and it's very easy to make them sound pretty much the same, especially when you're doing it on the piano. Like I do have songs that sound kind of similar. So I think keeping it interesting and keeping it different is something that is important because that's why I'm doing the hip hop song next. I don't want to put out like back to back, like pop, pop, pop. It's like
Yeah.
switch it up a bit.
Yeah, it feels like, if you put these days and it seems like it's like and it sounds really cliche to say these days, but I mean, things have come so far from what they used to be.
Mhm.
So when artists and musicians and people sit down and they start doing that pop, pop, pop country, pop, 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 metal, like, they find themselves pigeonholed before they can start to evolve. So
Mhm.
it's really brilliant that you decided to not pop it out and then decide somewhere in the middle, like, oh, you know
Yeah.
what, I want to go some R&B, I want to go some rap.
Right. Yeah.
You're allowing yourself um
Mhm.
growth without saying, hey, this is where I want to go.
Right.
Because then once you say, "This is where I wanna go," you're expected to go that way.
Exactly, that's what I find it interesting, is, like, kinda just doing something different, it's just and I like each of my songs to tell a different story, like, I don't want each song to tell the same story, like, Damage is about something completely different than what Tarrant is about, and this song, it's called Falling Apart, is completely different from the last 2 songs, like, the different meanings, different completely different stories. So I think that's also interesting is, like, what I found at least with the small fan base that I have at the moment is that it's like people wanna hear a different story. They don't always wanna hear, like, the same story. It gets to a point where it's like, "Okay, I get it. What's new? What's next?" So
Are you thinking about opening up with the way social media platforms are and the way
Mhm,
TikTok's evolving for
mhm.
artists and stuff like that? Are you thinking about gearing your social media to, because you're such a new artist, are you gonna open up a little bit more and kind of fold out towards the fans a little more because you're so new? And allow them that ability to see you vulnerable and see your writing process. Are you ready for something like that right now?
Yeah, I think so. The people that I have talked to so far, it's like really amazing because I've had like strangers just reach out just from Damaged and like they tell me their personal stories and I'm like, wow, that's like really amazing. I just feel like honored that people are even like telling me their stories. I think that's so cool. And I think it's just a great way to like have communication with people and like relate to people and it's just nice to talk and see what, like, people are also going through because something that happened to me, someone else might be going through something completely different, but feel the same way, similar in the way that, how damage does feel. So it's nice just connecting with people. I just find it really cool.
That's the great thing about lyrics. Somebody can write lyrics and they can pour their heart out and it can mean something to them. But
Right.
you can have 10 different people hear it and they'll hear
Mhm.
something different out of it.
Mhm.
And but it's still they're relating to it in the same
Mhm.
way, but
And
the
yeah.
lyrics it doesn't get lost per
Mhm.
se, but it's just a different what's what they're meant to hear. And that's the great thing about lyrics.
Right, you never know how people are gonna take it. That's why I find, music so interesting, is that you never know what people are gonna think, and obviously people aren't gonna see the song the same way that you see it, but even if someone sees it in their own light and relates to it in a different way, I still find that great because that's kind of the message that I want to put out, so I think, I'm just very grateful for the people that I have so far that have really connected to it. It makes me really happy.
We have a comment here. It says it's very easy to rip yourself off. So that's something you don't want to do. Don't
I
rip
know.
yourself off.
It's
That
it's
is
true.
true. Mhm. It's
Yeah.
It's a tough business. I feel like a lot of people don't realize how tough like the music industry is as a whole, but it's hard.
Let's dig deep into that. Tell us a little more about why it's difficult. Why? What have you done to overcome those difficulties?
Um, I would say everyone has like their own opinion, obviously, and
Yep.
I think I struggle with like people wanting me to do a certain thing that I really didn't want to do, and I kind of had to like stand my ground and say like, no, I don't want to do that. I don't want to put that out. I don't want to sing that. So it's kind of it's hard because you're always kind of constantly battling with somebody. Like no matter like who it is, there's always going to like be some kind of battle with somebody, whether it's like a lyric that they don't agree with or a style that they want you to sing. Like it's always something. So I guess the point is it's just never easy. Like this business is never easy. So
Do you find yourself sometimes like you talked about like being feeling a certain sort of way when you're being pulled in a multitude of directions?
mhm.
Um, I call it artist guilt because I have it as a recording studio background. I
Yeah,
kind of have a recording studio guilt where like
yeah.
my friends come to me and they're like I want to do this vocal, I want to do this, and I want to do it for them. I do, but like I have to keep, there's a certain level of like I can only do so much.
Yeah, of
you
course.
know
Yes.
and so
Mhm.
do you find yourself, where you're like, oh, I wish I would have, or are you more of a I'm glad I didn't do that?
Um, I'm actually glad I did the things that I did, because a
Awesome.
lot of even with Damage, like a lot of people fought me on there's like a little acoustic Spanish guitar in the bridge. And a lot of people fought me on that. They're like, "Oh, it's too long. It doesn't fit the song." It's this, you know, everyone always has something to say about it. But then when I released it, one of like the biggest compliments I got was that guitar solo is awesome. So I was like, I'm happy I like stuck with it because, sometimes behind the scenes you have people saying, don't do that, don't put that out. That's like stupid. But then you get like different feedbacks from,
118,000 views says keep that solo in there.
yeah, I mean, and I was actually shocked. Like I was like, a lot of people mentioned the guitar and I was like, oh, okay.
That was
It
one of my
people
favorites, one of my favorite little ditties there. I love it. Like,
thank
yeah, like,
you. I'm
yeah.
happy I kept it in because I had quite a few people say, "Take it out." People are just like, "No, take it out," so I was like, "Eh," but I kept it, and it ended up doing pretty well, so
You should take it to TikTok and try to get some people to like, duet it or something with guitars. A lot of awesome musicians, just to start a trend, just to get your music
that would be
trending.
cool. That would be really cool. I'm not good with, like, the TikTok thing. I have to get better at social media. That's one thing I'm, like, really bad with is social media, like, as a whole. Like, the whole posting thing and making content with social media, that's something I have to get better at, especially in, like, the business that I'm in. If you're not good at social media, it's, like, hard to further your career.
Takes
So,
persistence, definitely.
yeah, I have to get better at that. But I'm gonna start making TikToks.
They have these apps that you can post one thing and it goes to every source that you have, and that way
Hmm.
it's just so much easier for you. But then you
Mhm.
still have to make that time and dedication to do that one post too.
I know, I know. It gets
I
stressful, because I'm always like, "What do I post? What do I not post?" I don't know. It's like you always the only thing I find a little stressful about, like, this whole business is that, it you always have eyes on you. So, you always have to watch everything. Like, you always I kind of now I find myself, like, over analyzing what to post, because I just feel like there's a lot of people, like, constantly.
It's going back to staying true to who you are, not being fake.
Exactly. That's an important part of this industry.
We
Is
got to come.
500 people will always support you. 1,000 people will always stand up and say you're wrong.
you're right. You're right. That's
And then it's
good.
just a matter of, like you said, I strongly support you, Arrow, and what you plan on putting together and what you have coming out. Like, it's really awesome, and like you're gonna kick ass. I'm excited to see you grow, and I can't wait to have you on from a year from now to
Thank
talk
you.
about where you're going. But in the
Thank
meantime, we have you here, so I'm excited about it.
Thank
So
you.
what is on deck for you? I mean, we're getting ready to roll into a new year, so
Yeah, I know, it's crazy. I feel like this year went by so fast.
yeah, me.
Fast was like that. I can't believe it. It's just crazy. But well, I'm gonna release the new single, then hopefully follow it up with an album. And I am moving to California in a little while, so that will be exciting to experience.
Wow. So let's find out where you're moving from so we can.
New York.
Oh, all the way across.
Coast. Straight across.
Yeah.
Total opposites there.
Better
Total
weather.
opposite. Better weather though. I can't stand the weather. I think it's like 30 degrees out right now.
Yep.
It's rough.
We're not too far off here in Ohio.
It's
Oh,
39
yeah,
here
it must
right
be
now.
freezing there, right? Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. So I won't miss the weather. That's for sure. That will be a nice change.
So I do have the video that we're gonna play for Damage that Era Rose has done. Can you tell us a little bit about the production of the video and the song, and a little bit about it before we actually play it?
Yeah, it was one of like my first songs I wrote. I actually wrote it when I was going to acting school, because acting school is tough. It's very tough, especially the people. It's a rough crowd, because some people just see it as like a competition, I guess, which sucks because I don't like to see it that way. But a lot of people there do. So I feel like, I was just in such like a rough state back then, and I just basically wanted the message to be, even though you're hurting and even though you feel damaged, you still have to keep going. I mean, you can't let things get to you, even though it's hard. Like, it can be really hard for people that are dealing with struggles and everything, but I just didn't want to like let it stop me and kill my dreams, because people are always going to have something to say, but I just didn't want, all that negativity and stuff and just kind of crush everything I ever wanted. So I guess the point is to keep going, is what Damage is about.
Nice. Before we get to it, we've got a couple comments here. Movies, reviews, and more. Brian, hi.
Hi, Brian.
What's up, Brian?
And then sometimes the majority vote is wrong. LOL, you got to go with your gut.
That is true.
Yeah,
I
That's
agree
so
with
true.
that. Sometimes you just got to do what you feel is right.
I'm not sure exactly who that is, but I believe that's Nudge. So thanks for tuning in, Nudge, and everybody that's tuning in. And now we're going to get to the video for Damage. So let me pull that up here. All right.
Let's do this. I'm ready to do this.
By Arrow Rose.
I'm tired of feeling tired, but these days are feeling so long. You try to hide lies, but your eyes can't disguise. I'm born to be alone. I'm better on my own. Nothing good ever lasts, so I have to leave you in the past. 'Cause I know I'm damaged, but I will manage to keep carrying on, and I
Wow.
That's awesome.
Impressive. We've even got some awesome comments already in the chat.
Really? Oh, thanks.
Great mix. Great freaking song. Gotta love a song that actually says something.
Thank you.
Yeah, that was awesome for sure. Is that the same leather jacket that it's in the video that you have on right now?
No, actually, it's
that's
different
awesome.
jacket. I have like a whole collection of leather jackets. Like,
Nice.
it's
Love
my
it.
main attire. So yeah, but yeah, it's weird watching myself sometimes, but you know.
Was it hard to, like, because the video is very vintage. I get the very vintage feel from the video. So like I feel like there is a very old-fashioned side to you
Yeah.
mixed with nowadays. So I have to ask just because, like, does the old-fashioned come from family or just from your love of it?
I always kind of loved like old Hollywood and like how like the old Hollywood aesthetic was. I just kind of liked it. So I don't know. I've just always kind of had a love for it. So I kind of wanted to not modernize the video. I kind of wanted to make like a little bit of like a more old school kind of feel to it, like a kind of that kind of vibe to it. I didn't want it to be super modern. So that's kind of the
It
look.
turned out beautiful, like,
Thank you, thank you.
I could tell the very old-fashioned part of it, and, like, that was just
Thank you.
yeah,
Well, I
yeah.
mean, you got it. That's what I was going for, just because I don't know. The modern aesthetic is cool, like the modern Hollywood, all that stuff. But I kind of just want to have like that go back in time kind of feel, and with all the imagery and stuff and all the scenes that we shot, I kind of just want to keep that like old Hollywood type look. So yeah.
So taking that from what we saw to your other video, like, let's start with how you got from there to your
Tyrant.
next video.
Tyrant. Yeah. Yeah, that was a really cool video, like the whole shoot and stuff. It was like I just wanted to kind of go with like a more mystical vibe, like because I love Alice in Wonderland. Like I said before, I love that whole like Tim Burton thing. So I really want to just kind of I don't know, maybe like just try something new, kind of go away from that like old Hollywood feel and kind of try something a little bit more mystical and mysterious, because I kind of liked how Alice in Wonderland gives you that mysterious, mystical vibe.
That
Bring out
bunny,
that
though, for
acting.
real.
Yeah,
That
exactly. Yeah, it was weird, but because we kind of recreate the whole tea party scene,
yeah.
like the table and everything, and it was really cool. And I just kind of wanted to have a different feel for it. I like the damaged aesthetic too, but I kind of wanted just try out this one, and I really loved it. It was pretty cool, so.
Got some more comments in. Another one saying that they really like the guitar break. Lets you digest the first verse chorus and lets the song breathe. That's a
Thank you.
great vision on that song. Really.
Yeah, that is good. I'm glad you like the guitar.
And I love the mellow but strong sound, and the vocals pull me in, and it's a beautiful ride. These are incredible comments.
Well, I
Thank
think
you. Thank you
the piano
so much.
carries. I think that the piano fills in, like, where the human emotion kind of starts to go up and then come down on that. I think the piano, like, carries it into the next. So,
Mhm.
like, that's
Yeah. Thank you.
definitely.
Thanks so much. I really appreciate it, because, there was a lot of different opinions about it, but I'm happy you guys like it.
I'm happy you went with what you wanted. So, end result
Yeah,
was great.
I know. I mean, I guess it's not your like typical pop song on the radio at the moment, but I just wanted, the vision that I had. So I was like, you know what, I'm gonna keep it the way it is. I like the arrangement of it, and if people like it, that's great. And if they don't, sorry.
Huh.
Yeah.
I
Sorry.
come across so many artists though that like put stuff out there but don't stand behind it, or loosely stand behind it. And so like I don't get that vibe from you. So like I appreciate and respect you more than some of these other artists that just
Thank you.
put it out
Exactly.
there for
Mhm.
a like and a share. And like so many, it's about how
Mhm.
many likes and how many shares. And
Right.
so it's refreshing to come across somebody that actually, pardon my language, gives a shit like about what
Mhm.
really is happening, what really
Yeah.
it is.
You're
So
right. You're right. I feel like especially today, it's a lot of it revolves around like the likes and the comments and what's gonna sell and what's gonna get views, and you can kind of lose yourself in it, and it doesn't become that authentic anymore, and it becomes what it is, and so
you mentioned that. I wanted to ask you, and like so we always hit on like hard topics, like serious topics on the show, and I wanted to ask you, like have you had a hard time, like from a male standpoint in the music industry, being, in no disrespect when I say this, being an attractive woman, being a smart woman, being of sound mind, like I mean, what's it been like for you trying to get all these pieces to come together and them not be hollow, if that makes any sense?
Yeah, no, it does. It does make sense because I think, the more serious I get in the field, the more people kind of want to grab at you, and it's kind of hard. I think it's important. I do have a really good team around me right now, so I'm really grateful for that because I think it's so hard sometimes finding people that just like are genuinely authentic. It's hard to find people that don't just want to make money and actually care about the product and me and what we're doing, the project as a whole.
Yeah.
So I've been very fortunate to have really great people, especially the men in my life, which is crazy. Like my producer, my manager, my father, like they've all been so
That's
supportive.
badass.
And
That's
yeah,
really
and I'm
badass.
so, I'm actually extremely lucky because I know that in this business, it can get tough. You don't know who to trust. It can get a little scary sometimes because you never know what people want from you. And, so to have a good team around you is like really important. It's very important.
Yeah.
Incredible.
Yeah, so I'm lucky for that.
Well, before we end the show, is there any insight that you'd like to give our audience or anything that you'd like to leave them with?
Um, I would say always follow your dreams, no matter what. No matter what people say. I feel like you just have to fuel that fire that's in your heart. Even though you're gonna get negativity, you're gonna get people that don't agree with you. You have to keep going and follow your dreams because I mean that's like what we live for, right? Is the passions that we have and the love that we have. It's just we have to continue with that even though it's gonna be tough. So that's my
100%.
that's my advice for the listeners is to follow your dreams. So.
All right, big comment here. So, yeah, it's awful and disappointing when listening to something forced for commercial appeal, especially when it's from really talented artist or a group. It's awesome when it flows naturally and really does. Well done.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. Thank you.
And I
That means a
agree.
lot.
I totally, like, you can definitely tell the difference. Like I
Absolutely.
mean, yeah. So I'm glad somebody said that because that's 100% accurate right there. So
Thank you. Thank you guys so much.
Arrow Rose, thank you so much for coming and hanging out with us tonight. I really appreciate you, and I would love to chop it up with you another time whenever you're free in your busy schedule.
No, thank you guys for having me on. It was a great time. I honestly love talking about this stuff. It's cool.
What's the next release date for the next project? Can you give me some insight here? A little something?
Falling Apart. It's gonna be very interesting. It's about a very toxic relationship. So I think people are gonna really like this one. But hopefully I'm shooting for January 3rd. So hopefully that
Happy
will be
New
out.
Year.
Happy New Year, video and single. So we'll
Nice.
cross our fingers and see what people think.
Nice.
Well, we definitely look forward to it. I'll be eyes wide open waiting for it to happen.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, guys.
All right. Well, thank you for being on RA Nation. Thank you to all of our listeners, our audience. Make sure you tune in next week. We got some big things in store for December. And also,
Oh, it's
stand up for
December.
rights. Oh, did I just like hit you with the real bomb? It's like
Yeah.
December.
So my son will be two next week. So
Oh, wow.
so
All right, everybody. Stay amazing. We'll see you next week.
all right, later guys.